I never thought buying a birthday present for my son would almost get me arrested in my own driveway. One minute I was humming a tune thinking about his smile when he saw the gift, and the next I was staring down flashing red and blue lights because my HOA president decided I looked suspicious. That day changed everything I thought I knew about this neighborhood. It was supposed to be simple. Saturday afternoon, warm breeze, trimmed lawns, quiet streets, the kind of suburban calm people pay extra for. I'd just come back from Target with the holy grail of birthday gifts, the Millennium Falcon Lego set. Leo had been begging for it for months. I parked in my driveway, opened the trunk, and there it was, bright, colorful, perfect. I felt that small, satisfying dad moment. Until I heard a voice slice through the air. "Hey, what do you think you're doing here?" I turned. Across the street, Margaret Hernandez was storming toward me. She's the HOA president, late 40s, bleach blonde, helmet hair, always dressed like she's about to fire someone. I'd seen her before, clipping notes onto people's mailboxes, measuring lawns with a tape measure. But this time her eyes were burning with something else. "This is a private community," she snapped. "We don't want your kind selling drugs to our children." At first I thought she was joking. Then I realized she wasn't. "Ma'am, I live here," I said, pointing to my front door. "This is my house. I'm just bringing in a birthday present for my son." But she stepped closer, jabbing a finger at the gift bag like it was evidence. "A present, huh? That's what you people call it these days. I saw you sneaking around casing houses." My blood ran cold. I wasn't some stranger. I'd lived here 3 years. Paid my dues, waved to neighbors, shoveled snow for the old lady next door. None of that mattered to her. Before I could respond, the front door opened. Danielle came out with Leo, who shouted, "Dad, is that my surprise?" He was grinning ear to ear until he saw Margaret yelling. He froze, then hid behind his mom. That was it for me. I stepped forward, my voice steady but low. "You need to leave. You're on my property, and you're scaring my kid." Margaret's lips twisted into a smirk. "Oh, now you're threatening me? Good, let's see what the cops think about that." She whipped out her phone and dialed 911 right in front of me. I couldn't believe it. She was pacing my driveway, feeding lies to the dispatcher. "Yes, he's tall, aggressive, holding a suspicious package. He's shouting at me. I'm scared for my life." Danielle ushered Leo inside, locking the door behind her. I stood there in shock. It felt like I'd stepped out of my own body, watching a nightmare unfold in slow motion. When the sirens came, my heart sank. 2 cruisers, 4 officers' lights bouncing off every window. Margaret waved them over like she'd just caught a fugitive. She started her performance, fake tears, trembling voice pointing at me like I was the devil himself. I tried to explain. "I live here. That's my wife, that's my kid's birthday present." One officer asked for my ID. I moved slow, terrified any quick motion could go wrong. He took it, checked the address, and sighed. "Everything checks out. Let's just all calm down." Margaret stood there fuming. The officers told me to go inside, told her to leave, then drove off. But I could still feel her eyes on me. As I closed my garage door, that bright gift bag looked ridiculous, like a piece of happiness dropped into a swamp of hate. That night I tried to shake it off. Danielle cooked dinner. Leo talked about his birthday, but I could feel it, the silence between us heavy, poisoned. Then my phone buzzed. A notification from the neighborhood app Maple Ridge Watch. I opened it, and there it was. Warning: aggressive and suspicious individual in our neighborhood. Margaret had posted a photo of me blurry, zoomed in, standing by my car, and a long story about how I threatened her. The lies were unbelievable, but worse were the comments. "Thank you, Margaret, for keeping us safe. So scary, I saw that guy around before. We need stricter HOA rules about who moves in here." I just sat there staring at the screen, feeling smaller and smaller. Danielle leaned over, read a few lines, and her voice cracked. "Marcus, they believe her." I wanted to fight back, type out the truth scream into that comment section. But I knew how it would look, angry, defensive, exactly the way she wanted me to seem. So I stayed quiet. For the first time in my life, silence felt like survival. But then a message popped up in my inbox. It was from Sarah Jensen, the woman who lived across the street. "Hey Marcus, I have cameras outside my house. I saw what happened today. and I recorded it. My heart skipped. She said she'd been working from home, heard the yelling, and her camera caught everything from the moment Margaret stormed over to the lies she told 911. Sarah asked if she could post it on the neighborhood app. I didn't even hesitate. Do it. Within minutes, she uploaded it with a single caption. For everyone who wants the truth, watch this. The silence after that was deafening. Then the comments started. Oh my God, Margaret, you liar. She called the cops on him for a Lego set. I can't believe we almost fell for this. Margaret tried to claim the footage was edited, but Sarah shut that down fast. It's time-stamped, unedited, and uploaded straight from my system. For a second, I thought that was it. Justice served. But I underestimated how far someone like her would go. 2 days later, the first HOA violation notice appeared in my mailbox. Your grass exceeds the 3.5-inch community limit. The next day, trash bins left curbside past 5:00 p.m. Then, unauthorized decorative item observed in garden. It was Leo's garden gnome. Every day, a new letter. Margaret was weaponizing the HOA to grind us down. I laughed at first bitterly, but Danielle didn't. She started sleeping with the blinds closed. I'd catch her staring out the window, checking if Margaret was watching. I started to question myself. Maybe we should just move. Maybe it wasn't worth the fight. I was exhausted of feeling like a suspect in my own home, of watching my wife flinch every time the mail came. But then Sarah knocked on my door. She wasn't alone. Behind her stood a half-dozen neighbors, each holding their own stack of violation letters. We're done with her, Sarah said. We're organizing a special HOA meeting. You in? That snapped me out of it. For months, Margaret had ruled through fear and paperwork. But now she'd made enemies of everyone. And we had proof her lies, her harassment, everything. The night of the meeting, the community clubhouse was packed. Usually, those meetings had 5 bored retirees arguing about fence colors. This time, there were 50 people, all angry already. Margaret sat at the front table in her navy blue blazer, gripping the gavel like it could save her. This meeting, she began, was called to address the unfortunate misunderstandings. Misunderstandings, Sarah cut in. You called the cops on a man for buying a gift for his son. Murmurs spread through the crowd. I stood up, my voice shaking, but strong. You didn't just humiliate me, Margaret. You made my 7-year-old son afraid to play in his own yard. You spread lies, you harassed us, and you used your position to bully everyone here. I stepped closer to the front. This stops tonight. Sarah plugged in her laptop and the projector screen flickered to life. There it was, again the video. Margaret's shrill voice filled the room, echoing off the walls. We don't want your kind here. Then me calm, confused, holding a gift bag. The officers arriving. The truth, raw and undeniable. When the video ended, no one spoke. The silence was heavy electric. Margaret looked like she'd shrunk 2 sizes, her face drained of color. Then voices started soft at first, then louder. Enough of her. We want a vote. A board member stood up, clearing his throat. All those in favor of removing Margaret Hernandez as HOA president effective immediately. Every hand went up, not one stayed down. Margaret didn't move. Her knuckles whitened around the gavel. Then slowly she stood, gathered her papers, and walked out without a word. The crowd parted for her silent cold. The door shut behind her, and it felt like the whole room exhaled for the first time in years. That's where the story ends for me. No confetti, no celebration. Just quiet relief and the sound of my heartbeat slowing down. Because that day, I learned something I'll never forget. Silence only protects the bully until someone decides to hit record.